Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from Spark and the Spark Show, and I'm about to go live. Boom, boom. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. This is Grant Sparks from the Spark Show, and I have a question for you. Who silenced you? Who is silencing you? Who is stifling your voice? Who is shutting you down? Who's walking around proactively actually stopping you? We're going to talk about that briefly today, but before we start any of that, good morning, Billy Weigel. I hope you're doing fantastic. We're talking today about who is stifling you, who's stopping your voice, who actually is getting in your way. Good morning, my guy, Billy. Let me tell you something. If you don't know Billy Weigel, go check this guy out. His investments are doing fantastic. His health and fitness is doing fantastic. Go follow Billy Weigel. KW Whip 100. I hope you're doing fantastic. So today we're talking about who is silencing you and how to deal with that. Who is stopping you from expressing yourself? This is big. I can't tell you how many people, I just came from the gym today. I cannot tell you how many people expressed to me, hey, my mom, she silences me. Hey, my spouse, my partner, they silence me. I feel like no one's listening. I feel oppressed. I feel misunderstood. Everyone feels this way. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. But real quick, before we jump into that, just for a quick moment, entertain me for a second and tell me what you're grateful for. Drop in the comments what your gratitude is today. Tell me what's getting you out of bed, because your whole state will change. Your whole embodiment will change when you shift from being someone who's a victim to someone who's a victor, someone who is under the control of somebody else versus someone who's in control of their own life. You will go from having no opportunities from total opportunities if you take just a quick second and express gratitude. Don't just sit at your chair or in your car right now. If you're listening to me, wherever you're at, don't just in passing do this mental thing. Oh, I don't think I'm grateful for this. Take a moment, comment, voice to text. If you're driving, please be safe. Don't do that. But wherever you're at, say out loud. At minimum, say out loud what you're grateful for, because it will shift. It will shift your entire energy. And I'm, of course, going to start. I am so happy and grateful and full of joy that my hair is a little unhinged. I haven't been to the barber in too long, and I'm absolutely grateful that I'm unhinged. Good morning, Paola. How are you doing? This morning, we're talking about who is silencing you. But before we do that, Paola, what we're doing is talking a little bit about what we're grateful for. So in the comments, I want to hear what you're grateful for this morning. And I was just saying, I'm grateful that my hair is unhinged. It's just been out of control. I got to get to my barber, but I'm grateful for it. The Freedom Nation, good morning. How's it going over there? The Ojeda's bringing the heat this morning. So I'm grateful that my hair's unhinged, but more than that, I'm grateful today that we used the phrase unhinged. I cannot tell you how grateful I am that so many people are using the term unhinged. It was used as an irony in a lot of memes, and I am grateful that we're using this left and right. And as I expressed to those of you who are just joining now, my hair's unhinged, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that some of our Influencer Academy members self-organized yesterday. We've been meeting on Mondays for goal setting. If you're an Influencer Academy, please come together. Good morning, Hot Mod. There she is. Me and Nicole, Hot Mod Agency, we've been meeting on Mondays to do some goal setting. And we're unhinged there because the team that has been coming together there, some of them are influencers. Another's a real estate. Shout out to Ashley Bearden. Another is John Sierra, an artist. This isn't just creators doing this full time. This is a whole array of people getting together to set goals together. And I'm super happy that yesterday, Nicole and I, we celebrated her birthday. We totally blanked and realized we need to go do a birthday lunch. We did a quick birthday lunch, and we were grateful that the Influencer Academy members self-organized, got together, encouraged one another, supported one another, held each other accountable for their goals. They did that without any leadership. Of course, that's what being an adult is. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. What are you grateful for? Listen, I see your faces coming online. If I don't hear in the comments what you're grateful for, if you don't take this opportunity, you're emotionally constipated, your goal constipated, your gratitude constipated. Post in the comments. Be silly about it. Tell me that you're grateful for your hair this morning like I am. Tell me that you're grateful for your schedule this morning. You're grateful for your work this morning. Tell me what you're grateful for in the comments below. Let's talk about Who is silencing you? Today's show, and if you're watching here, you might get some of the chat and comments on YouTube Live. Go check us out there as well. Like and subscribe wherever you're at, and share with a friend if any of the people in your life have been telling you, man, I feel like people's really stomping on my parade. I feel like so-and-so is really silencing me. I feel like I'm being shut down. If that is you or a friend, like, subscribe, comment below, because we're going to unpack how to combat these crazies who are silencing you. And really, who is that anyway? Let's talk about it. So I was pondering this today a little bit, because at the gym, I encountered a good friend at the gym, and she was expressing that she was feeling that so-and-so in her life was not hearing her. And because of that, she wasn't chasing her dream. And I got to thinking about all the people in my coaching that have been expressing this. You know, my spouse is not hearing me. They're not listening. So-and-so is not hearing me. They're not listening. They're not changing. And therefore, I cannot pursue my thing. A lot of young people, my nieces and my nephews, in some way, shape, or form, they feel shut down, overlooked, disregarded. And ultimately, we're using this term now, silenced. I feel like I've been silenced. I feel like I've been oppressed. I feel like my voice isn't being heard. I want to share with you very quickly a song that I've been playing on repeat. I shared it with my partner, Nicole, at Hot Mod. I shared it with a few other people, and it's Silence by Marshmello. Go play it on your ride to work today. And he says, yeah, I'd rather be a lover than a fighter, because all my life I've been fighting. Never felt a feeling of comfort, and all this time I've been hiding. And I've never had someone to call my own. I left all alone, but I am at one with the silence. And then he goes on to say this. He says this, bear with me. He says, I found peace in your violence. Can't tell me there's no point in trying. You can't tell me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been quiet for so long. I found peace in your violence. Can't tell me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been silent for too long. And I got to thinking about this because it resonated with me. I'm listening to this song and these lyrics. I've been silent for too long. Go listen to the song. It's very inspiring. I love listening to this song in the morning. You can't tell me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been silent for so long. Do you feel like you've been silent for too long? Do you feel like you stifled your big voice for too long? Your dream, your message. Do you feel like your dream has been silenced for too long, stomped on? And for some reason, again, that song is by Marshmello and Khalid. And I don't think it's DJ Khalid. I think it's Khalid, somebody else. Maybe it's DJ Khalid. Go listen to the lyrics. Go watch the show, or go watch the music video. Go listen to the song. Play it on YouTube Music, whatever it is you do. But I've been inspired by this, and it's resonated so deeply with me because I feel like I've been silenced. Now, if you know me for a minute, I also play my own devil's advocate. When I have a thought, I check myself and I go, come on, I'm an extrovert. I'm a loudmouth. I've done 314 episodes of the Spark Show. This is it, and you're here. Have I been silent? If you are with me, Nicole called me out. We were at a luncheon with a friend, John Sierra. Billy Weigel says, hair game is on point. Preach on, brother. Thank you so much, Billy. I need brothers in my life to say, hey, your hair, Sonic the Hedgehog, level 10. Go for it, my friend. I was at a great lunch. We were invited to a lunch with a very good friend, John Sierra Creative. He's doing so much really good websites and campaigns and artistry. And he invited us to Freedom Nation. I'm grateful that I am the master of my day, time and location freedom. That's from Jessica Ojeda. She and her awesome husband, Miguel, are doing great things. Check out the Freedom Nation. Thank you for expressing that, Jessica. My friend John Sierra invited us to a lunch. Nicole and I were sitting there, and later she said, Grant, you should have let John talk more. And you're right. I walked away thinking, gosh, I talk so much. How can an extrovert loudmouth like me feel like I've been silent for too long? This was my own question to myself. How can I, as an extrovert, feel like that I have been silenced? Now, I love being reflective because a lot of introverts, a lot of people who are not as expressive as I am, they ask themselves this question and they easily have people to blame. Who do they blame? Extroverts like me. Grant talks so much, I never got a word in edgewise. That's normal. I expect that. God bless the people in my life that have been close to me, my family, my friends, my spouse, my partner, these people who've been close to me. God bless them for putting up with me because I know I can talk a lot. But why, as I have a self-reflection moment, do I feel like I've been silenced? Because I genuinely feel that way. If you go listen to the song by Marshmello, Silence, you listen to it, you're like, yeah, brother, I feel that way. Do you feel silenced? Do you feel like you have not been able to express yourself? Do you feel that the people that you're trying to impact most, your loved ones, your kids, your family, your niece, your nephew, your parents, do you feel that they're not listening? Well, I am here to present for your consideration that everyone feels this way. Everyone. Granted, you say everyone. Yes, Donald Trump does not feel like people hear him. I truly believe that the loudest mouth you can picture in your mind, starting with me, we all feel like no one is listening. The introvert feels silenced. The extrovert feels silenced. The intuitive person seeking happiness and joy, they feel silenced. The analytical person constantly trying to make their point, seeking relief and happiness, they feel silenced. The poor seeking financial freedom, they feel silenced. And get this, the rich person seeking freedom from their own finances, right? Because it's two edges of the same sword. You can be poor and seek financial freedom, or you can be rich seeking freedom from your finances because they hold you down. Every rich person I know is seeking freedom from their own financial situation. Get that in your head if you do not have riches. Realize that you're just dealing with a new problem. I'm not saying don't pursue wealth and riches. I'm not saying don't pursue being expressive. I'm saying everyone feels silenced. The average citizen is seeking influence over their government. The average government employee seeks freedom from their job and just wants a quiet life and doesn't want to get blamed for anything. Jessica says, absolutely, our Freedom Nation. I don't know who's listening now, Jessica. Maybe it's still you. We're all seeking freedom. It doesn't matter who we are. And when we think freedom, we think that we're being oppressed. If you're seeking freedom, it's because you feel oppressed. And at least if you were in the modern world, in the first world country somewhere listening, if you were in the UK, if you're in the US, if you were in Canada, if you were in many countries that you don't even know that are first world, Australia, right? South Africa, and you feel oppressed. It's Jessica this morning. She says, good morning. I hope you're doing fantastic. It doesn't matter who you are, you will feel oppressed. And there are many people who are actually oppressed. There are many people who do have specific people trying to stop them, but very few of you are being forced into silence. So let me answer this question. Who is silencing you? If everyone feels oppressed, if two people in an argument, both sides feel oppressed and silenced, one's not oppressing and silencing the other. Sorry. They might even be saying things like, shut up. They might even be saying mean things like, I wish you'd quit talking. But they are not silencing you. If you are in the modern world, you, my friend, are silencing yourself. You see, if everyone is feeling oppressed and everyone is feeling that they are being silenced, that means everyone's projections about how others might respond to them is what is causing them to silence themselves. I'm afraid of what my spouse might say. Ultimate Girl Mom, Christine Tala, good morning. I hope you're doing fantastic. A good friend from Influencer Academy. I hope you're doing great this morning. If everyone is feeling extrovert and introvert alike, powerful and powerless alike, if everyone, child and mom, brother and sister, if everyone on two sides of the same arguments are feeling silenced, then the truth is no one is actually being forcefully silenced. You always have a choice. So if you always have a choice and you are choosing silence and feel victimized, you, my dear friend, have silenced yourself. Now, I don't want to trivialize something. Quite often, we hold back from the things we want to express, the things we want to say, the things we want to do, because we are concerned about our loved ones genuinely. We genuinely don't want to hurt other people's feelings. We generally want to uplift other people. And we know that when we express our biggest selves, when we actually come out of our shell, we have a suspicion that somebody's going to be a little hurt. Someone's going to be a little put out. This is 100% true. Someone is going to be upset with you when you ultimately express yourself. That does not mean that they are silencing you. That means you have chosen a quieter life for a peaceful one. And that is a fair exchange. You are allowed to choose a quiet life. You're allowed to choose a peaceful one in order to make peace. But what you are not allowed to feel is victimized by others unless you are physically detained and silenced. You could be threatened with arrest and no one is still silencing you. You can choose the arrest. It might be unjust, but no one is silencing you. You are silencing yourself because you're afraid of the consequences in the most extreme example, and that's okay. But you have to be integrated with that. I call this out for one major reason. I speak about this for a major point, and that is this. Many of you who are expressing that you feel silenced and oppressed are also saying that that's the reason you are not living your biggest self. You're saying that's the reason you're not pursuing your goals. You're saying that someone oppressing your voice is what's making you live a small life. And that is not true. Unfortunately, it's not true. Freaky Fresh Cleaning Services is hitting me with every emoji in the book, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Check out those emojis down below. You are not stopped from your goals because others are oppressing your voice. If you feel that you can speak your truth and it will help you walk into your goals, then do it and accept the consequences. I have a little bit of a framework here. This is enough to make someone browse away. This truth is enough for someone to go, Grant didn't give me 3 points, so I'm going to hang up and go look for the next TikTok that someone's going to make me feel good and stroke my ego and tell me that, yeah, you go, boy. Yeah, you go, girl. The world's oppressing you. The world is very difficult, and there will be consequences for you expressing your voice. But it is on you to develop the courage to face that, or to develop the courage to let go of your dreams. It's okay to change your dreams. It's not okay to live in disintegrity. I was at the gym this morning and I had the most profound conversation with the meatheads at the gym. A lot of people think that the people that go to the gym are thick, dumb, stupid, lifting weights. Some of the most deepest philosophers I know, and two gentlemen there, TJ and Mario, we were working out, challenging each other to a pull-up contest. And these two gentlemen, we finally got into what is integrity. We're lifting weights and asking each other at the gym, what is integrity? Integration with belief with behavior. And there's a word out there for this called praxis. Praxis basically means the integration of belief with behavior. If you believe, Hot Mod Agency Nicole says, the gym bros are the most emotional guys I know. Where were you this morning, girl? Hot Mod Agency was out here grinding. She was up early, working hard, and she was sad to miss the gym. I don't know if she always misses some of these more philosophical, emotional moments with the guys, but she does enjoy them. And she does entertain them. And yes, Nicole, we were there. And we asked ourselves, what is integrity? It is to act on the thing you say you believe. If you believe you are being silenced, then speak up. If you believe that you speaking up will give you your goal and all you want is your goal, then speak up. Or if you actually believe that you don't want to speak up because you don't want to disturb and upset the apple cart, then you need to integrate your words with your actual belief, because your words should then say, I have two competing goals. One is peace in the household and the other is my goals. And I know that they're competing goals because if I take action on one, it's going to disturb the other. And I don't know how to solve that dilemma. I don't yet have the courage to face the consequences of one or the other. That's honest. You're allowed to say that. But what you're not allowed to say is someone's silencing me. Someone's oppressing me. Yes, there are plenty of, it's a little early for this word. It's not even 8 a.m. Usually I swear after 8 a.m., but I'll drop it on you now. Yes, the world is full of some assholes. Yes, the world is full of people that don't know themselves. And yes, they are closest to you. They're your spouse. They're your kids. They're your parents. They're your historical best friend. And I say historical because maybe they shouldn't be your best friend right now. They're not self-aware and they don't know how to carry themselves. And yes, there will be negative consequences if you act on your dreams. In fact, if you act on your dreams themselves might even reject you. There's no guarantee that you'll win. There's no guarantee that you'll win anything. But if you believe that you are oppressed and you believe that your bigger self needs to live out loud and express something, there's no one stopping you. That means more likely than not, you are silencing yourself. That's the truth this morning. You get along. To get along, you go along, right? To make things smooth. So what can you do to break this cycle? First off, is live by these three core principles. Number one, no one is silencing you. That's the core principle. Number one, no one is silencing you. You're just choosing an easier path, and that's okay. Get integrated. The second is you are silencing yourself. So if no one is silencing you, the second principle is that you are silencing yourself. Own that, please. It's okay. You're in a safe space. Post it in the comments below. You know what, Grant? You're right. If I feel silenced, I'm silencing myself because I'm afraid of the outcomes. Thank you for being honest. You have to start there. Number three, therefore, you have the ability and power to speak up, even in the worst consequences possible, even facing the worst possible consequences. And if those three principles are true, then you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I actually want the goals? And then you need to be honest and tell yourself, not more than I want peace, not right yet. Adriana on Facebook says, great thoughts for business as well. And actually, Adriana, I'm probably mostly talking about business because most everyone wants to grow in their business. If you're watching on YouTube, I posted a comment. That's from Adriana. She leads all of the area for Cohatch, which is a co-working space, which I highly recommend in your town. If you're in Lakeland, check out the downtown one. If you're in Tarpon Springs, check that one out. If you're in St. Pete, check that one out. We're members at Cohatch, and Adriana leads the show, and she says great thoughts for business as well. And this is true. I'm mostly talking about business because a lot of business owners believe that their competitors are silencing them or that the algorithm is shutting them down. There is no such thing. Guys, I have been doing social media and SEO and web technologies since they started, since 2001. And again, I got going with SEO in 2004. There is no mechanism for being shadow banned. A lot of people are like, oh, I posted something controversial. I'm being shadow banned. No one is silencing you. The public might not like what you're saying. And if no one's engaging with your content or following your business, maybe you're not likable. And you got to work on that. But if you can't be direct and honest with yourself, what's not happening is the blame game and that someone is shutting you down. Someone might react negatively. That's true. And that's difficult. And you got to ask yourself if you're okay with those results. I get it. I've lived out loud more often than not. And man, I'm at a time in my life where I am daily gut checking. Do I like the consequences of living my authentic self? Do I like talking my honest opinion about the church when I'm asked? Not necessarily. I'm starting to not like those results. Do I like the results of answering honestly when people ask me about masculinity and femininity? And I'm an ally. No, I kind of don't like the results I get. So I'm really having to honestly look at myself in the mirror, and I'm challenging you to do the same. So what can you do? Well, there's a technology cycle you should be aware of that applies to finding your voice. Simple 4-step process. Discovery, application, impact, and reflection. DARE, D-A-I-R, not spelled like D-A-R-E, D-A-I-R, D-A-I-R. Discovery, application, impact, reflection. This comes from the technology cycle. And in technology, a new technology comes on the scene, call it AI. And we discover AI and then we start using it. Using it is applying. We discover the idea of AI. We then start to apply the idea of AI. We then start to realize the impact of AI. And then we start to reflect, do we like that impact? This is science. This is tech. But this is also you finding your voice. Discovery. I have something I want to say and I feel like I'm not saying it enough. Application, and this is what you're faced with today. I should probably speak up. Application is I should probably speak up. Impact, how did it impact my relationship? And then reflection, am I okay with those results? If not, then I enter a new cycle of discovery, D-A-I-R, discovery, application, impact, reflection. Discovery. Do I have something I feel like I need to say? Application, say it or choose not to and move on. Impact. Do I like the impact on my life if I don't speak up? If you feel silenced, you don't like the impact of being silent. So you should try a new experiment. Reflection. Do I like those results? DAIR. If you can apply this framework, you can start to learn how to speak up. And I recommend a small experiment. I recommend you start with something small. A lot of you have big things that you've been holding on to for a long time. A lot of you have big relationship conversations that you want to have and big business conversations you want to have, but maybe that's a bit much for now. And start with something small. Start with your opinion about dinner. Hey, honey, where do you want to go to dinner? I honestly don't want to go to this place that you always recommend. Just speak up. And C, DAIR, discover that you don't want to. Apply, say something. I don't want to go to dinner there. See the impact. And then ask yourself, reflect. Am I okay with the results? Start with something small and then realize that your world didn't necessarily implode, and then start stair-stepping into more and more important conversations. But you can't move this direction of feeling the catharsis of speaking up if you don't start by admitting, no one. Misogynistic men talk down to me. That didn't mean they actually silenced you. It means you gave in. Some other person in some other faith stopped my parade, and I felt like I should get quiet. They didn't actually stop you from speaking up. You chose a life of peace. You cannot move forward in life until you radically own the fact that you have silenced yourself. And once you own that, you are faced with a decision. Do I start speaking up and living my truest self or not? And I think a lot of people, especially middle-aged people, are starting to live in a neutral gear. You're starting to live in a neutral state because you are starting to realize this unconsciously. And so you're not even asking the question. In fact, you're probably not even speaking up. In fact, if anything, you're becoming lukewarm. You don't have an opinion on politics. You don't have an opinion on spirituality and religion. You don't have an opinion on sexuality. You just kind of go neutral. And in going neutral, you are becoming what Zig Ziglar called a walking generality. Would you rather be a walking generality or a meaningful specific? To be a leader in today's world, you have to stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. If you do not stand for something, good morning, Andrew 2207. Sheena says, then I'll lose more clients. That might be true. I watched Grant today and I lost some clients. I would not put that beyond the realm of possibility, Sheena. But you're here and you commented, so the proof is in. You watched, and it happened. But when you have that radical ownership, that you took that action, you made that statement, if you are not a meaningful specific, if you will then spend the rest of your days in a victim mind thinking that someone silenced you, someone oppressed you, and no one did. Yeah, life was tough. Yeah, there were consequences, but you gave in to the consequences and you didn't live your high self. You didn't mess around and find out. It's a little too early for the F-bomb, right? You didn't go out and mess around and find out what you're capable of. You didn't go out and find out if that dream, that hypothesis that if you had more money, you could do X. You didn't go out and say, hey, that trip I always wanted to take, I had this hypothesis that if I took that trip or made that hike or didn't make that hike and stood up for myself, you had this hypothesis that you'd find something out about yourself. You'd find some greatness in you. You had this hypothesis that if you said X, if you expressed yourself with Y, you would then find out Z in your life. And if you do not follow that unction, you'll slip into, at some point or another, I will run into you in the street, or you will comment on my comments someday, and you're going to tell me some victim story loop. Yeah, I always wanted to travel around the world, but I didn't because of X. Yeah, I always wanted to speak up to that one guy or gal. Yeah, I always wanted to stand for this one politician. Yeah, I always wanted to make my voice known about business. Yeah, I always wanted to tell my story, but I didn't because I was afraid of how it might feel. I remember the day I told a part of my story, which I don't tell anymore, but I did. And it was cathartic. And the person in my family that it was about called me and said, "You can do whatever you want, but please don't speak about my story again." It was a tough conversation to have, but I honored that and I respected that from here forward. But it felt so cathartic to speak my truth and to push the limit of what I could endure. The pressure, the social pressure that I could endure by expressing myself. And I encourage you to do the same because I know something. No, it's not easier. There is no easy. There are rich people with money problems. There are poor people with money problems. There are healthy people with health problems. There are unhealthy people with health problems. There are single people with relationship problems, and there are married people with relationship problems. Choose my favorite quote these days, choose your heart. There's a difficulty out there. And as it comes to speaking one's truth, I am experimenting more and more with being honest about what I truly want in life. And I encourage you to do the same because I know this one thing that I can lay my head down with integrity. I literally have tracked on my Whoop that I sleep better the days that I have integrity with what I want. The days that people invite me to dinner and I don't want to go and I say no. Freedom Nation says, yes, choose your heart. And that's a comment on Instagram. The days that I don't want to go on that family vacation and I say no. And it is devastating to those people. And I feel horrible. I feel horrible. But I still feel better than if I were to not want to go and go. I feel horrible that I hurt their feelings. I feel bad that their feelings are hurt. The days I don't want to go to the gym, but I do want to go to the gym and still go to the gym. I sleep better. I encourage you, you cannot chase your dreams of fitness, your dreams of relationships, your dreams of business freedom. You cannot chase your dreams if you do not first rehearse speaking up. Why am I talking about any of this on a Friday morning at 8 a.m.? Because too many of you have sidelined yourself. Too many of you have sidelined yourself because if you live in the developed world, there is very few situations where you are actually prevented from speaking up, speaking your truth, finding the right words to say, this is how I feel, and this is what I want. The truth is it's your fear about the reactions, which might be true, and they might honestly react that way. But that does not oppress you very rarely because that's a reaction. And if you didn't speak up, no one oppressed you from the proactivity. I'm speaking about this because there are many of your dreams that I need. There are many of your greatnesses that I need to see manifested. I need you to manifest greatness because out of that I will benefit, but you have sidelined yourself, not someone else. You have silenced yourself. I'm speaking about this because of the mission, igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own.